Well, hello there, Soaring Eagle fans. Thanks again for stopping by and watching this video. If you don't mind doing a subscribe, like, and comment on it, it helps me out with this video. And in this section, we're going to be in part 2 of building the little 12-foot fishing boat, the aluminum welded fishing boat, the Marlon brand, and adding some more components to it. So my intention in this section was to build a windscreen, splashing water, little console and windscreen, like if you're riding a motorcycle, and you can snap on a windshield to give yourself a little bit more protection. So I just started designing in my head and then on a piece of paper, kind of rudimentary, some ideas for it, and I took it over to the sheet metal place over here, Century Plumbing in Chilliwack, and he made me up some pieces for it. And another shop had a bent pipe, and just kind of like comment on that. Like I looked around, phoned around to see if somebody could make me a bent aluminum pipe, and I had quotes from $400 to $800 to get one pipe and get it bent. So it's not cheap to get something like that done. But I ended up popping into a shop I recommend, went in there, and he actually had the exact pipe that I wanted in his leftover stuff for trying to get a pipe bent the right dimensions, and just put it in the kind of bin for later use. So I pulled it out, paid him for it, he gave me a good price on it, and then went to Century Plumbing, and Bob over there, as he usually does, made me up some brackets that I had some rudimentary drawings. So I'm going to go over those with you here real quick. So I just started off with an idea. So you see the bent pipe on the table here. So I started off with an idea for my aluminum boat. So we're in section 2. Section 1 was purchasing the boat and trailer, and if you go back to the first video, you'll see that. So I went researching online, and I saw an idea there for a console, but I didn't want a steering wheel and all that kind of stuff. I just basically wanted it with a wall and a windshield on it as a deflector, so that I could get my wife to go fishing with me if it's windy and choppy and whatnot. She could sit behind it and have some protection, and later on I'm going to put a bimmy right over top of it, so a roof that's collapsible, but you can put it up if it's really hot sunshine. So that'll be, I think, probably video 3. This is video 2 here right now. So anyway, I saw that online, gave me an idea to get going and to express to my builders what I was looking for, so that they got an idea. So there it is again, and so you kind of see a makeshift of that on the table here, which is going to fit just perfectly on my boat. Now, years ago I used to have a Harley Davidson, and so I went online and I saw like different aspects. So I actually have a company, they're going to cut a plexiglass that's going to fit on here as a windshield later, and we'll clamp that on later with these clamps that I've got here, and we'll go through that as well. But that kind of gave me an idea what I was looking for on top. Now here is a rudimentary drawing. So there's already a seat over here, so a second passenger would usually sit there, and I would sit back there running the boat, so just to counterweight from side to side of the boat. So that's where this windshield apparatus, so you can see how rudimentary my engineering and drawing was, but it was all in my head. And so this is the actual picture of the boat that I have. And if you see, like right on that seat there, there's a chair right here, or a seat that the chair isn't there, but the base for it is that the chair snaps into. So just in front of that, so to the front of the boat, the bow and not the stern, that's where this bracketing is going to go, and the windshield, and it's going to go into some fittings that I can leave on the seat. And I thought I had them here. I've got them somewhere, but as this video goes along, I'll show them again. But they will stay on the back side of the seat, and then this pipe with the windshield on can come in and out of that bracket, so you can have a wind deflector windshield on there if you want, and for transport and stuff you can pull it out and lay it on the bottom of the boat or for storage, so it's out of the way. And so that's where it's going to go, right towards the front. But if it's choppy and windy and all that kind of stuff, my wife can just come from the front around the back here and sit behind that and have some protection, and make it a little bit more pleasant for her to be out there in the water with me. But I'm sure she'd like to go out there and catch some fish. She's in Brazil right now for a month while I'm playing with all this. So these are just some ideas as I was Googling around, trying to get some concept and ideas what I wanted to do. So here's another very rudimentary drawing. So these this is the seat bracket that's going to stay there. This bottom piece doesn't need to be there anymore. And then this pipe will actually just slide right into there and stuff. Let me just go get that. Like, just follow me. There we are, just out of arm's reach. So this is the bracket that I got made up at Century Plumbing, and it's the seat bracket that's going to be on here. Now that's going to sit mounted to the seat like this, and down the side of the seat there's actually a metal panel that's going to get riveted to it and stay there, and it'll be nice out of the way, and then the whole windshield structure can just slide in and out of those brackets, and they'll make a lot more sense once you see it all clamped and bolted together. So this bracket here will be this little bracket here, and there'll be one on each side, and then this whole mechanism up top here, the shield that'll be on here, and the windshield on top is going to all go together on there. And so that's my little drawing of that available, and the one that I have is a 12-foot V hull. So probably this one right here, I think that's 12, 14, 16, but mine's a little 12-foot beam, 5'9", bow height or whatever, bow height, yeah, 25 inches. Dry weight about 200 pounds, 204 pounds. Maximum horsepower engine, 10 horsepower in Canada and US. Hull cage transom is 15 inch, so that's a short shaft Yamaha, which I found. And so with that section with the motor will probably be section 4. Section 3 of these videos will be putting a rooftop on, and I've also got that one already ordered and in inventory, just needs to go on. So now I'm just going to measure all these pipe dimensions, the thickness, inside, outside diameter of the holder pipe, and then also the actual main pipe itself right there, and the clamps that I have. I'll put listings of this down below from Amazon where I got that, and then the metal that I had made up. You could go to Fear Welder and sheet metal. You're going to save yourself a whole ton of money, because getting these brackets and different things made was about $400 labor, $95 an hour. So it did cost me some money for that, where you might have machine shop and metal shop and all those kind of things, and do yourself these things, these favors, and save yourself a whole lot of money. But I'm not that lucky to have that, and I don't have a shop to do that. So basically I had different 4 different shops, and Amazon was involved to get all this stuff done. Now I have all the pieces together. I'm just waiting for the windshield. I might get that later today or on Monday, and eventually you're going to see the end of that product with all this stuff assembled on the job site. And then give me a big thumbs up if you like it. Do a subscribe and make some comments below, and giving some suggestions. This is what I would have done. This is what you should have done, could have done. There's always a woulda, shoulda, coulda involved in all this stuff. Just a real quick shot here. So to mount the windshield later, I went online and I found some rubber spacers, 40 or 50 millimeter outside, so that's 2-inch diameter, and 10 millimeter inside, so that's under ½ inch or something like that. So anyway, I'm not too sure on what all that is stuff, because some of the things are millimeter and some are standard and stuff, and then also some washers. But I didn't want the windshield clamping. The windshield is going to actually clamp right to this surface on here, so I have a little rubber spacer that I cut out. Also got this rubber from Amazon, and I just cut these this morning, and I'll leave a link. You can buy these rubber patches or whatever, make your own little washers and stuff like that for different things. And so I'm going to put that on the back of that plate there, and then the windshield is actually going to go on the front side. So then on the front side, that bolt's going to come right through, but then on the front side, I didn't just want the washer on the glass, so I got some rubber gasket O-rings and stuff, and then the washers, and then will be the bolt head and stuff like that. Just that washer with 2-inch diameter will also give a lot more support to the windshield. And so there'll be 2 of those. I already had one mounted on here. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put the camera down, and I'm going to show you when you order these brackets, and that's also from Amazon. It's going to give you a quick showdown here on the picture. But I'll have a link for all this down below as well. Audac Universal Bull Bar brackets is what they're called, but they do have different sizes online. But they come with rubber spacers, so you have the actual bare bone washer clamp like that, clamp it up, but it'll be a little bit loose on this pipe, but it's you can change to 2 other sizes. So there's one spacer there, and then where's the little thinner spacers? That was the rubber gasket. So it has some, you know, thinner spacers as well. So there's that one and this one here. And in order for this clamp, I actually had to use one thin one and one thicker one, and it worked perfectly to clamp onto this pipe and stuff. So there's 2 or 3 different size spacers depending on what pipe you're going to use here. But I'm going to measure all the pipe that I've got here, inside and outside dimensions, diameters and stuff like that on this one here. Same with this one, because this pipe is going to slide inside this pipe, so you got to make sure it's not too sloppy and not too tight. That'll fit. And I'm just going to show you real quick here just how that's going to work. So see if you can follow me along here. See how nicely that just slides in there, and it's almost a perfect fit. So again, this bracket will stay on the seat, and this whole windshield wind deflector can be completely removed for transport or whatever and stuff like that. So there'll be one bracket on each side of this, and again, you'll see how it all works when you see it mounted on to the boat. So might be a couple more clips here, and in my, you know, since I've had to work with some metals recently, I've picked up a few micrometers, just a hand micrometer there that you got to read the fine print on there, which is kind of difficult to do. So I also have one that's a electronic operated one, and it'll change the different dimensions. It's much easier to read, and you can convert between inches and metric on there. And also to measure the thickness of the metals and bolts and stuff like that, I picked up some gauges and stuff, and I got these on Amazon as well, and you can Google those. Maybe I'll leave a link for those as well if that would help. So these things help you measure the thickness of the metals and the steels that you have, and the inside outside diameter of the pipe. I'll be using this, but I do have a back panel that I haven't shown yet, but you'll see it later. And I'll put all these dimensions and thicknesses that I have on here, just in case you feel encouraged that, hey, I'm going to build one of those. Doesn't look too bad. Not too shabby. Well done. Talk to you later. What I'd like to show you here is this clamp that's going to support the windshield on top, with the big fender washers and rubber washers that I mentioned earlier. They'll be on here, but I just want to show you how nicely these clamps will work. So I have the clamp there, and when it's fully closed, you see I've got, if you can see, I've got a lot of slack inside here, so it's not going to clamp on there. And I've already tested and tried this, so if I use 2 of the thin sleeve rubber gaskets inside, they're not quite enough, but if I use 2 of the thicker ones, it's too much, and I can't really do a proper clamp on it. So in this case, what I ended up doing, and I'm just going to put it in there, they just snap right inside here, and I put a thicker one and a thinner one. Now what you do is the smooth surface is going to go to the inside, and then this rough kind of got some ribs on it is going to go on the outside, which will clamp to the pipe here and hold it on. So anyway, let's just quickly do that, and I'll show you here, and then later on I'll show you with the 2 clamps mounted to the unit. And I think I keep going out of screen there, so I'm just going to insert this one right here, and they just pop in like that, and then just follow me along as I just get this underneath the bar here, and I'll show you how nicely that works. Boom, there we go. So we've got a little bit of room left there for the bolt. You know, you can see that it's clamped on nicely, and there's still a little bit of slack there for it to pinch onto the pipe with the nuts and bolts and washers and stuff like that. So the next picture, what you'll see, like when I turn the camera back on, is I'll have this one and the one that's already up top here mounted on the top of the bar, where the windshield is going to attach to later, and the windshield is going to attach like on the front surface of this in the right location. But I just wanted to see how nicely these clamps will work and stuff. So it's gonna just shoot forward here, and we'll see you in the next little clip here. All right, to get these mirror clamps, or not the mirror clamps, the windshield clamps equal on both sides. With the curved pipes, kind of hard to measure. So what I did is I use a straight bar on here, and what I'll do is I'll just slide that and try and measure it off. So I've got, let's say, 5 inches to the side there where that clamp will go, and we'll go to the other side, see what we've got over here, and just move this tape over to that side, see what we've got. Wow, first shot's not too bad. It's like 5 and an 1/8. So we'll split hairs here and make sure this is straight there, and got the measuring tape up to it, and it's 5 inches on the other side, so we've got almost 5 1/4. So I'm just gonna slide it back just a hair, as they say, or a tad. So that's what I'm going to try and center off to get this these clamps equal on both sides when I put the windshield on. So we're about 5 1/16 on that side now. So let's go back to the other side here. Bring this straight bar over to that side. Anyway, I'm just kind of going along here, learning as I'm going here. So we're just a little bit over, so I'm just going to move that about the same, about 5 1/18. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to mark where the clamp is going to be, and then that way it's going to be cosmetically. There we go. So we got some little marks on there. I'll increase those marks so I don't lose them. So that's where we'll put those clamps on, so they'll be equal on the windshield. So we'll just tighten these up. They actually screw into them, and then there's a nut and washer on the bottom side, so it's actually holding double with the threaded insert here, plus the nut and washer, which it probably wouldn't have needed, but it's there, so we'll use it. And these nuts use a number 10 nut driver. And I guess they'll just help in reducing the chance of the bolts coming undone and loosening up the windshield. So just a little double locker there. All right, there we go. Got the clamps on for the mirror, and we'll be ready to move on to the next section. What I'm going to do now is just going to take some measurements of the inside-outside diameter of the pipe tubing and the 90-degree bracket here, and I'll mark them down, but I'll also put them on a cheat sheet here. So I've got a micrometer here, and I use it in millimeters. Can also do it in stuff. So this little measurement tool too is for aluminum gauge steel, and then I have another one here. It says it's for stainless steel. So we're working with aluminum pipe, so I'm not going to use a stainless steel measurement today. I'm going to use the other one. That's they have different terms for it, nefarious, non-nefarious metals or something like that, but I'm not a metal man or whatever. not a middleman either. But anyway, we're going to take some quick measurements here and just see what gauge pipe that we've got here. So the main pipe that's holding all the apparatus on there, just going to do its measurement first. And so I we zero out the gauge here, got it down to 0, and the little wheel here, we'll just spin that open until we've got the inside diameter of this pipe, and get it into, yeah, so that's about center there. So we're looking at 26.66 inside diameter, that one. I'm just going to mark it on this paper here. So 26.66, it's all in millimeters. And the outside diameter is, so we'll just make it just so it goes past there. Go a little bit wider, so it's just scraping past the pipe. So we're looking at 34 outside diameter on the main pipe, 34 millimeters. And then this pipe is going to slide inside here, so this one, the inside should be just a little bit more than 34. And sorry, just going to go inside here and check that one real quick. Okay, so we're looking at 34.6 millimeter inside diameter, which means this one is 34 and that's 34.6, so that extra 0.6 is what gives us the clearance to go inside there. But let's just see what the outside of this pipe is, because it's quite a thick wall pipe. So if we just scrape that right by there, just so that it gets past the pipe, it's just touching, give us a close read. So we're looking at 42.78, 42.8 outside diameter. Doesn't fit into that one, that one's too big, and it just slides into that one. And we're looking at 3/16. So 3/16, and in millimeters or whatever, is, it says something 1875 on here. So I do remember the machine shop said, like, we'll probably use 3/16 for that, so I'm just going to call that 3/16. So I'm jumping back and forth between millimeters and inches or whatever. There we go. We've got the inside diameters of both these pipes, outside diameters and stuff. So if you're going to build this, like, you'll want to get those very close to each other so that this pipe will nicely slide into there, just like that. The windshield is being manufactured right now at a local plastics place, so I'm expecting possibly a phone call today, or maybe, I'm not sure if they're open Saturday, but he said at least by Monday. So we'll keep working on this, and by the time that you see this video, we'll have all the bits and pieces together, and I'll have the windshield clamped onto there. And then also what I've got over here is this plate deflector will go above the windshield right here. All right, I'm pretty stoked. I thought I wouldn't be picking this up until Monday, so here I'm at Wellington Plastics, and they tell me they've cut the windshield from a little fishing boat. Let's go have a look. Check it out. You guys ever need some windshield cut for different sizes, different things they do here? I'm not sure. Got all kinds of goodies in here. Hello. Oh, I see something on the floor. That looks like it might be mine. It's got some tape on it. Hey, anybody in this establishment over here?
Right.
You guys got a windshield for me?
Marlon?
You guys got a windshield for me?
Yeah.
For my big fishing boat, for my yacht.
That's in there.
Yeah, so it worked out good?
Yeah, it looks okay.
Not a problem? Easy to drill?
You're drilling it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the boss man, he already told me, like, he gave me some advice or whatever what to do.
Give me a couple of scrap pieces.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do a little test run on drilling some holes through this plexiglass. I've got a couple pieces, but one in particular here that he gave me just to do some practice drilling on it, make sure that I won't be cracking it. So he said to get a counter or one of these step drill bits, nice and sharp, and not to force it, not to push it. And because I won't be drilling right on the edge, I'm going to put the camera down just so I can grab the product and the drill at the same time. And let's see how this is going to work, and let's not get a crack here. Okay, so nice and slow, easy does the thing. So if I don't push, just nice and slow, let it work. So doing that is creating a little bit of shavings there. So let's just see how this goes, because we're going to have to make this almost through the substrate. There we go. And we're going to go to about 3/8 size for the bolt, so that works pretty good. I think this drill bit's going to do it on our main frame. Let's just do a backwards drill through there. Okay, so that bites pretty hard, so I can see what it means there. Don't push it out, just very gently. So that's going to be about the size that I need to put the bolts through, so that worked out pretty good. I'll just try another little test hole here before we actually go and do the final one on the windshield. Waiting for Amazon to drop off some rubber seals and washers I'm looking for to do this project here. So just playing with this a little bit. Let's try this again. Don't push. Like sometimes in human nature you just want to push through and let's get through that like you do on metal. But in this case he just says absolutely do not push it. Just let it push, and that's just the weight of the drill. But also knows just want to eat food, and he says it will shatter like glass even though it's plexiglass. So I noticed before when I went from the other side it actually would grab it quite hard. So let's just do that carefully here. So there you go. 2 drill holes successfully without shattering it. So that's what we have to do on the main thing, because I'm going to be putting a bolt through there with big washers to keep the windshield onto the main frame. Okay, here we are at the RV site, and where the boat is. I'm going to take the tarp off, and then we're going to get into the process of putting the windshield on. See if it'll fit. It's after 5 here. I waited 5, 6, 7 hours for Amazon to deliver some stuff, saying that it'd be delivered in the morning, early afternoon, and it got postponed and canceled eventually, so I had to go to Canadian Tire and get some bits and pieces so I could get on with this project. So I'm gonna start this late. I wanted to start this morning and stuff, but it failed just because of a failed delivery, and found some bits and pieces to make it work here at Canadian Tire. So let's get this tarp off and see what we can get going here before the day is completely done. Let me just put this on the corner here. Okay, got that pulled off. So the attempt project is going to get this windshield wind deflector mounted like right in this location right here. Wasn't sure how thick. Yeah, that's pretty good metal. So if I riveted these seams on here. So let me just go get the pieces we're going to put together here. Let's have a look and see if these brackets are going to work for us. So one's going to go over there somewhere. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. The other one right in this area, and then the whole thing will just rivet on there. Perfect. Let's go get our pipe that's going in there. The one that was supposed to cost $500 to $800 to make, and got it for 50 bucks. Got some Amazon clamp-on brackets for it, and that's going to slide right into those brackets. Perfect. So it's going to take still lots of room to step beside, so that's about as far over. So I want to bring it over to this side here, leave a little bit of room on this side. So that's about where it's going to go. Perfect. I'm just going to get busy with drilling some holes. Thank goodness it's all aluminum and not stainless steel, which is great. I'm just going to pick up get the windshield out of our truck here. Yeah, so eventually this is going to be the windshield on that, something to sit behind, but you can still see through it. The blue will come off, of course. So we've got that going. And let's see what else we need here. Yeah, so there's a bimmy that's going to go on the roof, and that'll be in the next video. Oh yeah, there's the wind deflector plate. Putting together a brochure folder for all this little project work. Okay, let's make ourselves a little work project in the back of the truck here. A bench to work on. Gonna do this quickly here before the day is done. Probably wouldn't take too long. Get that down. We'll use this for a temporary work table today. Work off of there. Awesome. And let's get these brackets back. So what I'm going to do is drill 3 or 4 holes on each side on both the brackets, drill right through. It's a fairly thick, man, almost sounds steel, but it's supposed to be aluminum, so I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe it is. That's what aluminum sounds like when it's quite thick. Yeah, I think 4 rivets on each side, so it'll be 8 rivets to bracket to hold on that aluminum. The aluminum's not really very thick, so the more meat that we have on that will work. Okay, where's my felt marker here? Maybe I used them all. Don't see one. See if we can write on it with the pen. And measuring tape. There we go. So winch on the bottom, go up 2, and go up to there. Yeah, that'll work. Same thing on the other side here, so we can look kind of symmetrical. I could have done this while I was waiting, but I live in an apartment, so it's not a good thing to be working on stuff in there, so I have to wait until I come out and get onto my little rental spot here. So there we go. Let's see how the drill is going to go cutting through that material. Alright, let's see what this is made of. I'm hoping it's aluminum. Yes, it is. It's a thicker aluminum. So it drills nice and easy. I'm glad it's not steel. What I'm doing here is just shaving off the burrs on there. So put the rivets onto the bracket and onto the seat. Won't be scratching everything up. And this just cleans them right out. All right. perfect size. All right. Okay, let's get one of these brackets clamped on here. Or riveted on, I should say. So let's measure about the center of that seat to the center of the console here. So that whoever's sitting in this seat will have the same amount of protection on each side. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 6 over there. So if we go 7 right to that ridge in the center of that line, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that looks pretty good right there. Good enough for a fisherman, right? And that's about where I wanted it. And we'll get it pretty close to the center of these two rubber there. So let's get one of them mounted on here, see how it's going to hold. I have a lot of little burrs of filing aluminum. I did bring up a vacuum cleaner and get some grommets here. Call them grommets, but they're actually rivets, I should say. So we'll go with this depth and thickness. It looked pretty good. See how that goes. Okay, perfect. Ooh, I like it. Wow, that ain't going over. I like it. I like it. I really like it. That's the depth of the rivet there. So leave me a couple of some suggestions in the comment section if you'd have done this differently. But this is what I came up with after thinking it through and actually discussing it with a few people. And I thought, hey, what a cool idea. So I might even take it over to Marlon just to see if they can't manufacture these in their plant. I won't be putting no patent on this, so that's why it's on YouTube here. And that's what I heard about Elon Musk today in a documentary or a video podcast today, that when he designed the Tesla car, he actually didn't patent anything, left it wide open for people to copy his plans and ideas and stuff. Good old Elon, the trillionaire now. Okay, let's get the other side done. That side looks lovely there. So starting to take shape here. Awesome. So now the challenge is going to be that I get this fairly level so that the pipe will slide in and out and drop into the sleeve there without binding up on me. And I'll be pretty plumb. So let's do one hole at a time here and see what happens. Getting a little faint on the drill there. going on here? Am I grabbing the wrong one? Oh, wrong end. You can tell I'm not a riveter. Don't work for Boeing. All right. This, make sure it's kind of centered there so the pipe's going to come straight up and down. See what happens here. Yeah, that'll work just fine. Practically perfect, if I have to say so myself. So let's get one more done, and then we'll get the other. Yeah, we're time for a battery. Okay, here's the test. Ha ha ha. You'd think I'd manufacture this with an engineering degree. There we go. All right, let's get the rest of the grom. Keep calling them grommets. All right, what do you think? Looking pretty professional, if you ask me. I love it. Okay, that's all riveted on, so I'm going to pull it back off, and I'm going to put the wind deflector onto it, and then we'll put the windshield on. So the lower half of the body, the back, is going to be shielded by this, and then the windshield will be up on top. And where we're going to put this is just level with the seat where it drops into the pipe, and we'll rivet that on as well. So we're going to go for 1 inch per side here. Perfect. Wow, that's almost perfect as well. And stuff, gotta make it look pretty, right? So we'll put one there and one right there. That works for you, works for me. Okay, center of the pipe is right there. Ooh, wants to slide, do you? Okay, should have known that. Get it back. So line, roll weight on it, see what happens here. Okay, I think I can use a little shorter rivet there. Let's try that. Haha. Seems like the rest of the pin always wants to go inside, so that's fine. We'll leave it in there. That's where you want to go. That's where you're going to stay. So let's just see if we're right on the line here, and do the same thing on this side, and then at the top, one in the middle. Yeah, you just want to stay in there. Okay, let's push out the top. A bolt hanging in there. There we go. What do you think? Should we put one more? Yeah, let's put one in the middle. What do we got for middle here? We've got 15, so 7.5. And same on that side, 7.5. And we'll just kind of eyeball this for the center here. Yeah, looks pretty good. Nobody's gonna notice. One more. I think this one's gotta move over a little bit. Oh. Oop. Ah, perfect. So you guys can build one of these little wind deflectors for your wife too, so she'll go fishing with you. And this is kind of a secret, a little bit of a mystery. I told my wife I'm building her something for the boat. Surprise. So that way she's got something to hide behind if it's windy and cold and raining and stuff. We get trapped out there in the water. So let's see how that looks. What do you think, guys? Okay, let's go get this installed and see what it looks like. See if it still goes into the brackets here. Oop. Come on. Don't tell me that I bent the pipes in while I was putting the bracket on. Oh, it should be okay. Oh, I must have pulled them in or out a little bit, but there we go. All right. What do you think? Looks pretty awesome. I think it looks awesome. It's just like I had in my mind. Just like I saw in one of those pictures online. Same idea, but didn't cost me $1,500. So far what I've got here, if I didn't have to hire a mechanic or a machinist or metal fabricator, I could have saved $300 in labor, but bending the pipes and making the brackets was the expensive part, but the material is fairly cheap. So if you guys know how to bend pipe and do that kind of stuff, you too can do this. So now let's just set this camera up here a little bit, and what we're gonna do is, next step is where the windshield is going to go on, and that's what we don't want to break. Oh, it's right here. Plexiglass, and it's just going to overlap the metal a little bit, so it's going to clamp on there, and it's going to be a bolt here and a bolt here, and then one on the corner and stuff. And so it just depends on how high I want to have this. It doesn't have to be up too high, as long as it just, because I don't want it. Yeah, so you know what, I'm going to go down probably about that low, because I don't want this thing sticking up way in the air and stuff. But I think if we do about something like that, that is probably excellent. So how am I gonna make this work? Gonna go 6 inches down, okay, up to that, put up to those rivets. So when you lift straight up, it actually comes out pretty good, I think. So we're going down approximately 6 inches. Up to there. 6 inches and 6 inches. I'm gonna do that. I'm not sure if both sides of this plexiglass is actually the same as a windshield, which has 2 sides to it. I think both sides the same. So if we do this, just going to line it up with the edge there and the edge there a little bit more, so it'll be square. Then we go off the lines that are marked on there, and that's right to the edge, and that's right to the edge, so that should be pretty good right there. What do you guys think? Perfect? All right, so let's because I've got to drill holes right here, see if I can see. Oh, I like it. Everything's still good there? Yep. So that works pretty good. We can just shine right up the center of that hole with the light on the camera. Get the pinpoint center there where the bolts go. So this is probably the most crucial part, not wanting to break the windshield, the plexiglass. Have to drill really slow, I'm told. Put it on high speed, and let's see what we can do here. I'm going to get a piece of wood to drill into as a base underneath. Go slow, really slow. Don't break. Don't push. Temptation is to always push. It says don't push. Don't push. Temptation is to push. So keep telling yourself, don't push. Marlon just wants to push. See, and the bit will bite really quick all of a sudden too. But they did say this will shatter if you not careful. Okay, that looks about right for the bolts that we're putting through there. So let's go have a look. See if we can find them. Oh no, we're going much bigger. Oh my goodness. Much bigger, Abraham. Hey, hello there. We're back at the site here. There was a little piece of the project that I needed to finish up that I didn't have all the right pieces, so just to put a grommet in between these two holes over here, and I didn't have quite a long enough bolt, and I didn't have these rubber washer grommets to go in between there as well, so that is going to mount the windshield to the back side, and I needed some longer bolts just like this here. And let's just set up this little camera here on a tripod, and we'll just quickly get that lined up here and finish this little project off. Nice cool breeze here this evening, so I thought I'd finish this all off yesterday, but I needed about a 1/2 inch longer bolt like this to get through the depth of it, and a couple more little washers. So we'll put a washer so it's not right on the glass, and put this right on there, and we've got the grommet and the hole already drilled out on the back side. So I might be losing the picture here, what I'm doing here. Okay, hopefully that'll work. There we go. So this was a piece that I had missing. We wanted 4 points of contact for this windshield on here, and where's the rest of my washer here? Where did it go? Where did you go? So that's gonna slide right underneath there, and I was sure there was 2 washers in that bag. Maybe you guys can help me find it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Alright, so we'll have a washer on the outside and a rubber grommet between the washer and the plexiglass. I'll just work that all the way through, and there we go, already pre-drilled down the bottom, and just put a nut from the back, and those are the short little bolts that were just a little bit too short. I'll fire them in there, and let's just get this bolted on here, and we'll have this project pretty much tied up. Stand this back up here. Okay. So I think that's a number 10. Nope, much bigger. Much bigger. But anyway, we'll tighten those ones up. So I'll just show you, I'll flip the whole thing over. That's the back side of it. And the front side. So now we've got 4 anchor points for the windshield. Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. And we'll go install it in the boat and see what it looks like. All right, we're ready to slide the windshield in place. See how it fit. A little bit tighter than when I first did it, but there we go. It's all mounted in place. We're ready to go fishing. Well, once we get the motor and the bimmy on the roof. So let's have a quick look at it here. So this is where the seat will be attached. And so if it's kind of stormy and somebody's sitting up front and they want to come in behind the windbreak, you can just sit yourself down right here and get yourself a nice windbreak from the waves and water hitting you. Plus, if you're back here with a tiller motor, the 9.9 Yamaha sitting in the back here, you can still see everything in front of you. The windshield isn't blocking it, and the panel down below is low enough it's not really affecting the watermark. And the whole thing's removable when you're traveling down the highway or putting it in storage. And so let's just take a quick look. Boat's a little shaky here because it's just on wheels and the front hitch. So everything is removable, except this is riveted on and those brackets on the bottom are riveted on, but the whole thing will lift out. And I've got a rubber gasket that I'm going to put around here. It's not a sharp edge, but nonetheless I'm going to put a black rubber gasket that will just slide on to this 3/16, and that'll be a nice finishing point as well. And I really liked how these brackets worked out for holding it, and we have rubber gaskets on it in between the plexiglass and the metal. So let's just walk over to the front here, see what this looks like. Wow, looks almost like my Harley windshield, except it doesn't have quite enough of a curve on top. So there we go. So just slides into those 2 brackets down below, and we've got 4 points of mount. So it should be good, and it's very sturdy and stuff, so if somebody happened to grab it a little bit, it's not going to break on you, but it's really not a holding point to lift yourself up on, but it's very solid and secure, and have a little bit of rattle there maybe, yeah, but on a choppy water, just keep you awake. So there we go, got it all done, and it's really good to have these rubber grommets and between the washer as well, so that we're not right onto the plexiglass. So you too, DIY guys, can build yourself one of these, and some of you that are handy with welding and metalwork or whatever, you can save yourself the 300 labor. The plexiglass cost me about $100. Getting the bracket and this plate and the brackets made was about $400, and then this bent pipe, which I was quoted a number of prices from $500 to $800. I ended up picking off a marketplace guy here in town. He had a couple sitting in his bin for $50, so it's a lot cheaper than $500 or $800. And I'm really happy with the way that turned out, and it's totally removable. So thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe, and if this is of any interest, do leave some comments and maybe some pointers down below. And I'm just quickly looking at it here, like this corner here, I was wanting it rounded off just a little bit more, but it is, there will be a rubber sealer gasket all the way around and stuff. But other than that, it's not really, that's some edges here and there. Pay attention to. But I like that. Nice little windbreak. And then the next video, we're going to put a bimmy on top here. And do come along with that. And then after that, we'll be mounting the 9.9 horsepower motor on the back. And then the follow-up will be launch day. It's about time to get this thing in the water and actually seeing if the super yacht's going to float. So again, thanks for joining. Thanks for coming along. Appreciate you guys. And trying to get this YouTube channel running, and for all the likes and subscribes, it does help us to get recognized by the algorithms that YouTube has. And we'll catch you later. Adios.